The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
1, 2, 3, 4. As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And a good Tuesday morning to you, one and all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Yes, indeed, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live this morning, this Tuesday, October number 10 in the year of our Lord 2017, just coming back from a 3-day Columbus Day break, Columbus Day weekend. I know, it's Columbus Day. That's what I call it. Some people call it, now they're calling it Indigenous. Well, I think Maine has a dual holiday. Maine, the state of Maine, I think they're saying it is Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. So it's a dual day. And there are various municipalities and states that call it different things. Look, it's okay to call it Columbus Day. And here's why. Not because we're ignoring history, but simply because Columbus is significant in not even the rediscovery of the New World, but in leading to what came after. Because frankly, at some point, let's be honest. If Columbus had not sailed the ocean blue in 1492, somebody else would have eventually from Europe and made it here. So if it wasn't going to be Columbus, it was going to be somebody else within a very short period of time. Because the fear of sailing too far out had waned. Because even though Columbus it sailed in 1492, you still were not sure that you were going to follow his exact path. He didn't know where the hell he ended up. He had no clue. He ended up what in the Caribbean, and then of course we got the Pilgrims that ended up in Massachusetts. That's a big difference, wouldn't you say? That was huge. As far as I don't know how far, a good 3,000 miles away, probably 2,000. The distance between where Columbus landed and the Pilgrims landed, it's a good distance. Now, granted, the Pilgrims came from a different country, sailed from a different country, thus the winds and currents, sent them to Massachusetts versus the Caribbean. I think about where Columbus took off. If you look on the map, If he would have actually been able to go straight across, he would not have landed in the Caribbean, right? I mean, that wouldn't have been. If he went directly west, I don't think he would have landed. He would have landed a little bit north, wouldn't he have? From Spain, just saying. But it was going to happen. Especially, over the weekend I saw some programming about history that could change the way we view man's history forever. Evidently, there is evidence I don't know why it's always South America, but evidently there's, because if they're coming from Africa, I guess, but there's evidence that would suggest and they found it in more than one South American country and more than one South American location. There is evidence that the Romans from the Roman Empire made it to South America. There is, we've had people talk about, like the Kon-Tiki, the Polynesians and Asians, obviously. But there's evidence, again, that the Chinese were also in the New World. Not to mention the fact that Native Americans come from that area of the world because of the land. Ever notice how sometimes you might certain Native Americans you might confuse with Asians? There are certain Latinos, because Latins are mixed with Spanish. They have the darker skin, obviously, because of the Native Americans there down in south of the border. A lot of them had slightly darker complexions, and mix it with the European blood. You ever notice that sometimes they look Asian? And they're not. Well, the reality is they are. And this is part of the DNA concept. This is something a lot of people don't realize. I tell people I'm part Cherokee. The reality is looking at now this is something else that came to mind and I learned over the weekend. The reality is that Native Americans, the Indians, no matter what tribe they're from, they're descended from Asians. So the reality is I guess I'm part Asian. I know, that's that's to think about, but that's the reality. See, we don't think about reality too often. We don't think about history logically. See, there's some logic to history. And because, there is this connection with Native Americanism and Asianism, if you want to use those terms, that's why especially if they're Central American. I mean, there are Mexicans, Guatemalans, Panamanians. They look so Asian it's ridiculous. Well, that's because there is a connection. Within the DNA, there is a direct link. People just didn't end up where they are just because, they just got plopped down and, they just appeared one day. And evidently there is a, now again, this is DNA genoism, I guess. What is it? DNA science? What do they call that? Folks, here is something that was eye-opening over the weekend. This is something that they don't want you to know about. Science and the anti-God people. This is something that they don't want you to know about. Evidently, DNA speaking, all human beings can trace themselves back to one female. And they have a general idea of where that female came from. Somewhere in northern Africa most probably. Well, hey, that would be Adam and Eve after they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Interesting. So we're not that we're all related. Well, we all are related. But that we come from, our genome points to one common ancestor. Now, I don't know. Well, I don't know where the dad is in this, but evidently, I guess they can't trace it to the guy. But they can trace it. They can trace all of us to one female. So I don't know. Does she have multiple partners? I don't know. But there are all kinds of theories. Look, they're making theories around this now to make it fit their narrative. I mean, hell, even the so-called ancient alien theorists have got a theory behind it. Oh yeah, it was aliens that did an experiment on this one female to boost mankind. Like, everybody's got a theory now. Well, there's one thing about this theory, about these theories. Everybody coming up with a theory, is that they're taking the science that revealed this very seriously. And they're all within their different factions. They're the people who believe in Adam and Eve and in the creation, the people who believe in evolution, the people who believe in ancient aliens, and all the other theories. They're taking this seriously. That's the whole point. In fact, they're taking it so seriously that they don't want other people to really know about this. They're not bringing this up in your science classes in college or high school because they don't want people to think about this for whatever reason. It changes the entire narrative. It also makes it more difficult if this is actually true in the DNA record. It means that evolution, the evolutionary theory, is in trouble because we're told that man evolved from Neanderthal man. The reality is, with this DNA science in check, it now suggests that Neanderthal was a completely different species that died out, that became extinct, and Homo sapien man is not related to Neanderthal. We were two different species, apes and chipmunks, or apes and chimps. They're the same family. But they're two different species within that family. And the same thing with Neanderthal man and human beings. Homo sapiens, we're two different species within the same family. And the Neanderthals died out. Now, this also brings to point where some people are theorizing, and this is non-biblical scholars theorizing this as well, which is also very interesting. It kind of blew my mind, where they talk about, well, there seems to be some evidence that backs up the Great Flood. And I know this is where the so-called ancient alien theorists jump in on it. Yeah, because they were experimenting and they wanted to make the Homo sapien. So they had to get rid of all their other experiments. The Neanderthals, they were failed experiments, and so they got rid of them all. And then of course you have some people who aren't even religious saying, no, there was a catastrophic event. And the only reason why Homo sapiens survived is because we had larger, better, bigger, faster brains. So, now but see, here's the interesting part. A lot of people will focus on the fact that they're saying, well, they're eliminating God. No, folks. What they've just done is reframe the entire historical record by admitting that there was a worldwide massive catastrophic flood, which the Bible already says that there was. So the reason why man survived the catastrophic flood wasn't because, they're not saying because God chose Noah, but because man had a bigger, better, faster brain and somehow was able to foresee it, to see it through, or what have you. But there was a worldwide catastrophic flood that nearly wiped out all life on the planet by great flood, including this is why we don't have them anymore. All those wonderful species that could have opposed man were wiped out. And that there is also evidence that shows that certain dinosaurs were around when man roamed the earth. Like, really? I guess the Bible says that we did that happened too, didn't it? This is not. Now look, this is not a biblical scholarly lesson. What I'm saying is that what I've seen over the weekend, it all makes logical sense when it comes to the historical record. People think that the history is written in stone. No, it's not, because we haven't revealed everything that we could possibly reveal of what happened in history. How we got to where we are, we don't know. We can't even tell you exactly what happened, 40, 50 years ago. No, maybe somebody well, let's just take right before our eyes on television, history takes place. The Kennedy assassination. What do we got? All kinds of theories still today? Maybe somebody knows exactly what happened, but the rest of the world doesn't. History is constantly revealing itself as we unearth new evidence, and evidence that people make up new theories because they don't understand certain evidence. Göbekli Tepe, anybody? Just pushed man's civilization record back by a few thousand years. Although you still hear some people saying, well, this civilization, the Sumerian, they're the oldest. We found evidence of cities that date pre-Sumerians. So what does that tell you? I don't know. Maybe they were built by Neanderthals. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Oh, that was a bit of Spanish guitar there. I think we need air conditioning in the studio now because the Spanish music is hot. Does it not get your blood boiling? I mean, not boiling, but going. It gets your... Yeah, it does. Listen to it. There is a bit of, how shall we say, passion in Spanish and Latino music. Well, yeah, I mean, what is one of the hottest, most, awe-inspiring styles of dances out there? The tango, is it not? And when it's done well, one of the most beautiful ballroom-style dancing that there is the tango. I'm in awe of people who can do the tango well. It's a beautiful dance. You want to talk about passionate? Ooh, get you hot under the collar. Speaking of hot under the collar, remember the story that I brought you a few weeks ago about the AI, artificial intelligence, gaydar picture reading program algorithm? Well, they've caught up with the co-creators of this, Michael Kaczynski and Yilong Wang. It's Yalun Wang. Now I'm guessing he's by the name and the way he looks, but in this picture that he's Chinese. But I'm just wondering if Yilong Wang might fall into the category of homosexual. I'm just asking. It doesn't really matter. Well, it kind of helps figure out why he may have wanted to invent a gaydar, because he doesn't want to hit on straight guys. Well, there are some straight guys that take offense to being hit on, by the way. I mean, they don't look at it as being flattering. If anything, if you're a straight guy and you don't like being hit on gay guys, first of all, you got to ask yourself, why are you being hit on by gay guys? And two, well, now how do you think that the women that you constantly hit on feel? I'm just saying. But and are you worried about your your masculine? Oh, I know straight guys that are kind of flattered when a gay guy hits on them. They go, "No, I don't play on your team, dude. But thank you anyway." I mean, think about it. I mean, somebody thinks you're good looking, so that's you're attractive. I mean, guys get mad at that. Well, then maybe you should stop hitting on women. Just saying. But now I'm getting off track. An Israelite startup, the reason why they decided to come up with this machine to detect by pictures if you were gay or straight, an Israelite startup had started hawking a service that predicted terrorist proclivities based on facial analysis. Chinese companies were developing facial recognition software not only to catch known criminals, I brought you that story as well here a few months ago, but also to help the government predict who might break the law. Minority Report coming to real life. Yes, and all around Silicon Valley, where Dr. Kaczynski works as a professor at Stanford Graduate School of Business, entrepreneurs were talking about faces as if they were gold waiting to be mined. Few people seem to be concerned, however, so to call attention to the privacy risk, he decided to show that it was possible to use facial recognition analysis to detect something intimate, something that people should have full rights to keep private, he said. This is coming from a liberal Stanford professor, by the way. After considering atheism, of course he did, he and his partner, not sexually, settled on sexual orientation. Thus was born the AI, artificial intelligence, gaydar. Now, whether or not that was his initial reason for doing it is irrelevant. That's the reason that he's saying, and it makes logical sense. Because we're too eager and too willing to set things aside, not even think about it, until they come knocking on our door, and we ask the question, well, wait a minute. How the hell and when the hell did this happen? We ask that question a lot about stuff, especially when it comes to government and governance. We ask it after it happens, we ask, how the hell did it happen? Because we're not told about it at first, or we don't pay attention to it at first, or both. And we're being told that our privacy is being invaded by all this new AI stuff, and we're all like agog over how fascinating it is. You know, cars that can drive themselves and all this other AI wonderful stuff. And we always forget, hey, there's already a movie out there, even though it's fiction, called, and it has a wrong star in it, you know, Tom Cruise. but Minority Report. And someday we're all going to look back and say, hey, we were already warned, weren't we?
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Hollywood is all abuzz with a number of different stories over the weekend. Of course, it happens on the holiday weekend. Harvey Weinstein is just one of them. We'll get into some Harvey stuff a little bit later into the program. But one of the things that took me aback over the weekend is Delilah. Everybody knows Delilah, right? Delilah. There's another part of that. I don't recall, but you've probably listened to Delilah. Even if you don't listen to her on a regular basis, you've had to have listened to Delilah. Anyway, she announced that they call her romance radio host. She's got a syndicated program that's all about romance and love, and she plays all the wonderful old romance and near romance songs that get you all warm and fuzzy. And it's very relaxing, and she has a kind of voice that is kind of you would think that just by listening to her, evidently that there's no AI for voice yet, as far as I know, but I'm sure they're working on it. But you'd think she might be one of the flower children, but evidently she's not. She seems to be a pretty diehard Christian, although I think she's divorced. That doesn't mean anything. Christians get divorced too. But in any case, and she's adopted quite a few children. She has some natural children of her own, as well as some adopted children. Now, I don't know if this particular son, Zachariah, is her biological son or it's an adopted son. But she announced that he took his own life, that he committed suicide. Now, I don't know how she's on the air talking about it, to tell you the truth. But that was over the weekend, over the holiday weekend. Christians have problems too. But one of the big things that came about over the weekend is that George Michael revealed that in his final interview that he had before his accidental, drug-induced death. Even though it was not, he didn't. I guess he didn't. His heart just gave out because of his drug abuse. I guess that was the final outcome. He died at the age of 53. But George Michael revealed in his final interview before his death that he felt picked on by the gods, plural. Now I know that there are going to be some ancient alien theorists out there that believe that George Michael is in touch with aliens, and that we used to think that the aliens were gods. But he felt that's basically what happened, I guess. He just felt that religion or gods. I'm not. Well, by the way, George Michael is of Greek. He was British, born in England, but he was of Greek descent. So that probably explains, to some women why they thought he was such a good-looking guy. Because, I've mentioned that before. Although there are some handsome British people, English people, both male and female. For the most part, there's. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to get myself in huge trouble for saying that. Because not everybody. Well, I don't find. Well, I shouldn't say Brits. I don't find the English race, to use the term race loosely here. I don't find the English race to be a very handsome race, and there are races that I find to be very handsome. The English are not one of them. The Greeks tend to have, historically speaking, have tended to be a very handsome people. The Irish have tended to be a very unique, but very handsome people, and a lot of them they're kind of small too, like Asians. Not going to get into genetics here, but which is kind of weird. The English don't tend to be very handsome, but the Irish and the Scotch can be. Don't look at. I know some people are saying, "Well, why would I say that?" Come on, what happens when people think of a Swede? Automatically, they think model, tall, big, model-esque type of male and female. So a lot of people think that the Swedes are a handsome race. And the Nordics, period. The Norwegians, the Swedes, the Finns, even the Danes. Danish. I mean, come on. People, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. That we have these stereotypes of what people look like. And that's just the way it is. Sorry to point it out. So George Michael was of Greek descent, which might explain his belief in gods, plural. Just saying, that's where I'm coming with this. But that was his own, he's out of his own mouth. He felt like the gods were playing with him and were against him. Over his homosexuality, maybe? I don't know. Well, if he's Greek, he should be okay with that God should be okay with the because Greeks were some of the original openly homosexual people, right? Ancient Greece. Kind of funny now that Greece is very homophobic. They are Greeks are pretty much. I mean, well, if you're going to say homophobic, the way people in this country like to toss that term around, then that would be Greece. Now, they don't have a bunch of laws against homosexuality, but you try to hit Greek men, they're men. They're manly men. They're not guys. They're manly men. They don't go for the gay stuff. It doesn't mean that there aren't gay Greeks, because there are, but generally speaking, we would call them homophobic. And this coming from a country that basically invented the whole concept of openly gay stuff. I mean, just saying. I mean, hell, what was it? The Isle of Lesbos? There is practical historical truth behind lesbianism on Lesbos. I mean, look it up, folks. Not making this stuff up. But this also comes at a time, as far as being homophobic, where there is another liberal. Well, in this particular case, he's not very liberal, but he's pointing out the hypocrisy of the left, especially the gay left. Gay porn king Michael Lucas. Now, I've never heard of this guy, but evidently he's a huge gay star. I'm not into porn anyway, so even if he was a straight porn star, I probably never would have heard of him. But evidently he's a gay man and a huge gay porn star. Michael Lucas. Muslim homophobia, he says, becoming very inconvenient for liberals. That's right. Homophobia in the Muslim world is becoming very inconvenient for liberals because liberals are apologists for Islam. Said Michael Lucas in an interview, a gay pornographic film star and director. And he charged this in a radio interview over the weekend. Lucas slammed liberals for being largely silent and increasing reports of gay people being persecuted in the Muslim world. And he said that he has noticed a trend in which the left wing focuses on specific countries' leadership instead of political Islam when attributing blame for anti-gay policies and actions. They do this. They give them excuses. Folks, the left this is very evident. This sort of leads into the Harvey Weinstein thing. This is what the left does constantly on a daily basis. And I don't know why the rank and file puts up with this. If you're a liberal gay person, can you honestly tell me why it is that you hate Donald Trump who has already said numerous times throughout his history, going back years and years and decades, talking about the certain quote-unquote rights of gay people. Oh, because he wouldn't stand for transgender rules in bathrooms on a federal level. What did Donald Trump say about that? He says it's up to the states. Federal government shouldn't be involved in that. It's up to the states. But you have Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton who come out against gay marriage, even though Barack Obama, even by some on the left, has been accused of being bisexual and or gay. And those people that believe he's gay believe that Michelle is actually Michael. But, I mean, it's not just people on the right. Believe it or not, there's bunches of people on the left that think it. But he was anti-gay marriage. Hillary Clinton was anti-gay marriage. Donald Trump was not anti-gay marriage. But yet they still backed Obama and Hillary. Bill Clinton is the one who invented and put forth the don't ask, don't tell that the left hated so much. I know they blame George Bush for it, but that was Bill Clinton. And now they're out there being apologists for the very religion that is still legally, in various countries, still legally, quote unquote, murdering gay people simply because they're gay. And this gay porn star slapped them in the face with their own hypocrisy. But this is not the only hypocrisy that huge hypocrisy that the left has. Now, I've pointed this out time and time again on this program. And now there are people, I have said that sooner or later somebody's going to have to wake up on the left and start talking about this and start saying it. And lo and behold, here we have it. You have a gay porn star and director that a lot of gay people know, especially if you're into any kind of porn. A lot of people in the porn industry know this guy, gay or straight, I guess. He's that big in the gay world or in the porn world. Who the hell? Michael Lewis. I don't know who he is. But anyway, but he's not the only one. There are other gay people finally coming out and their voices are being heard about the left being hypocritical. The radical left, this guy, this porn star, I shouldn't even call him a porn star, just this gay man, Michael Lewis. He's saying that the radical left and the extreme left and leftist period are coddling Islam. I mean, and frankly, look what happens when people might even get, legitimately, rightfully get the idea of the recent mass shooting was Islamic terrorist involved in it, may have had ISIS or Al Qaeda involved in it. Who are the first people to run to the microphone to say don't jump to conclusions? People on the left. Who are the first people to blame Christian right-wing people? People on the left. Who blamed George Bush for don't ask, don't tell? People on the left. That was one thing that, you saw it on TV. And all these sitcoms and TV shows, just bashing George Bush based on the don't ask, don't tell thing. George Bush didn't implement it. He didn't invent it. He didn't create it and then implement it. That was William Jefferson, Bill Clinton. But he got a pass. And then when a Republican group took the Obama administration to court to get don't ask, don't tell removed, did you hear anything about it from the left? No. The Republicans were just mean, evil, anti-gay, homophobic bastards that needed to be shut down. Well, they were the ones that sued and got rid of it. And then after they won in court, it took the Obama administration a year to get rid of it. A year. If George Bush had taken a year, they would have screamed bloody murder. So this guy is talking about the hypocrisy of the left, and I've often talked about the hypocrisy of the left on this program over ad nauseum. And this guy is just coming out of the gate over the weekend, but you're not hearing much about this, but you're hearing it here. And he slammed liberals numerous times. This is not the first interview that he has given. This is the first one that people are actually paying attention to. This is the first time I've heard of it. But doing some research on this guy, this is not the first time he said this. He said gays and liberals are being largely silent, increasing reports of gay people, in spite of increasing reports of gay people being persecuted and murdered in the Muslim world, and they're being apologists. In fact, you see pictures of them during Gay Pride. What is it? Gay Pride Month is June, right? And Gay Pride Month and Gay Pride parades, you see a bunch of fruity gays marching down the Gay Pride parades, holding up signs in support of Islam, signing their own death warrants, basically. And it's just amazing what they do. But this is not the only thing or only time, because then we have things like Harvey Weinstein. Again, the left make all kinds of excuses for leftists, but you get Donald Trump, who just talked about doing certain things. And why did he talk about it anyway? He was actually, you put it in context, he was actually talking about what celebrities, and most celebrities tend to be, what? Leftists. What celebrities get away with because they're simply celebrities. And he said, I could grab a beautiful woman in the area, and nothing would happen to me because of my celebrity. And he's absolutely correct. Harvey Weinstein got away with this for decades, folks. Decades.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face and sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came, defeat the would-be dictators, and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Something else out there that people, if you're a parent of a teenager, you should probably know this. And this the newer generation that is coming of age, what is it, Generation Z, and the younger millennials, the ones that are in their late teens and early 20s that are still millennials. These people they're screwed up in this country. I'm just, it's hard to place them. Well, evidently, out of wedlock unplanned pregnancy is down among those generations. They're not engaging in as much wild sex as previous generations did before, except for this. Now, a lot of them are going into the areas of thinking, of course, especially the millennials, because of good old President Clinton, in believing and thinking that oral sex is not sex. So there's a lot more oral sex happening among young people today. But there's another trend that is disturbing. Young people are more interested in threesomes than ever before, so says this from Indy100.com, and in fact, they're up significantly. The number of people. Well, I mean, we're seeing some TV shows that are reflecting this thought, believe it or not, about young people having sex parties. So threesomes, yes. Now, the interesting thing is that according to this study and other studies that I've looked at, now before a threesome would have been a guy with two women, right? Well, that traditional threesome is now out the window. Now it could be two guys with a girl, and when that used to happen, it used to be the guys never touched each other. That's changed because of younger generation being so sexually fluid. Is that the term that they use, sexually fluid? In other words, two straight boys, 17-year-old straight boys can decide that, the girl says, I think it would be hotter if you actually, did sexual things with each other. Just to you get the picture. With the girl, they'll agree. I mean, it's just... And if you're a parent, I would not want to be a parent of a teenager today. This is just saying. So, yeah, there you have it. I guess threesomes are on the rise.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell. And I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small. You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. October number 10 in the year of our Lord 2017, which makes it a Tuesday, the first day back from the 3-day Columbus Day weekend holiday. Hope you had a great time. It rained here yesterday, all day, pretty much. I know it's the last thing you want on a holiday weekend is for it to rain all day, but that was okay. Got some other things done. In any case, here it is. Welcome to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Glad that you are here. And as well as all you, if you're a liberal, why is it that you're not standing up for homosexual rights in the Islamic community? And don't tell me that you are, or that Islam is not bad because they're still throwing them off of rooftops and hanging them and beheading them and chopping off their hands and other extremities. Yeah, they do castrations too, by the way, just saying. But are you a millennial that doesn't know what they want to do with their life or can't find a good job? Maybe you should go to Alex Macheras, Macheras. Go to his Instagram account. He's 20 years old, so he's a youngin'. Of course, he fits the mold for the internet. So, well, he's not a YouTube star. He's an Instagram. You can be an Instagram star. There is. Did you know that there is actually a convention? I had that story we're in the paper pile somewhere. A convention in Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas is the king of conventions, and people go to Vegas for a drop of a hat for a convention. Evidently, there's not a reality star, but a internet star, social media star convention. YouTube star, Instagrams, and Snap. Do you know you can be a Snapchat star? I did not know this. Why not? I suppose you can be a Facebook star too, but that's not the place to be, I guess, if you want to be famous and as well as make a living. You can't be it's difficult to be a Facebook star because it's more difficult to find sponsors because Facebook doesn't share in the revenue. Where people can get sponsorships and sharing revenue in places like Snapchat and YouTube and Instagram, I guess. But you can be a YouTube star, and Justin Bieber was a YouTube star before he made it as a real star. Just saying. I mean, I know we come back to Bieber, but he's a prime. I recognize faces of some of these YouTube and Instagram stars, but I don't know their names because I don't follow them. But here's a young man that I might want to see how he's doing this. Alex Macheras, Macheras. He's a 20-year-old. And where is Alex out of? Well, it doesn't really say, but he's got a very interesting job. And it appears that what Alex Macheras does is he flies around the world. You think, well, at 20, how the hell is he doing that? He gets to explore the world flying empty planes to make sure that the service, food, and champagne is up to standards. He tests out every seat in the cabin, including first class. Yes, indeed. I don't know how you get this kind of a job, but he developed, evidently, according to this article, he developed an interest in aviation as a child. He even took flying lessons. By the age of 14, he was approached by LBC Radio to give analysis on the aviation industry. By the time he was 16, he was appearing on Sky News and other networks. Alex now works with manufacturers as they deliver new planes and takes part in flight tests, as well as still appearing regularly on television. I don't know how. You can be interested in aviation. How do you land a job like that? I want to know. I'd do it. I'd fly. I'd fly testing first class and testing every seat on the Look, I've flown enough to know that that there are some seats more comfortable than others that are not in first. I've flown first class too. Let me tell you, if you've never flown first class, that is the way to travel. Now, I'm not going to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars more. Well, I guess it would depend. If it's a short flight, like from coast to coast, New York to L.A., I probably wouldn't spend the extra money for it. But if I was flying overseas, had a good, good distance to go. If I was flying like to, where it was going to be more than a 5 or 6 hour flight, it might be a good idea to go first class, especially if you're overnight. If you're flying, from New York to say, parts of Europe where the flight can be 12 hours. You could fly overnight. If you're going to the Middle East, you're going to Asia. I'd probably spend the extra money on a first class because first class is great stuff. But I don't know how this kid got a job. What's he put on his resume? Flight seat tester or airline seat tester? I don't know. Airline quality control. I'm just wondering. Well, good for him. By the way, if you want, he appears regularly on English-speaking television around the world, and at 20 years old. So, and you can catch him on Instagram. I don't know what his Instagram thing. You just look for Alex. If you want to follow him, Alex Macheras, Macheras. 20 years old, testing first-class seats and champagne drinking as he flies around the world on new planes. Good for him. If you're looking, I guess that could be a new career path. Do they have college classes on that? Well, he's not going to college, by the way. Just to prove to you. He is not attending. He can attend college. Well, I guess he could if it was online. But he's not in college. Would you go to college if you had the opportunity at the age of 20 to fly around the world And that's your job. I don't know how much he earns, but I'm sure that he earns quite a bit also being on Instagram and YouTube and other things. He's probably got tons of sponsors. How does one get an Instagram sponsor? By the way, what is Snapchat? I mean, I know what Snapchat is. I've never. What is it? What do you call it? Snapping? I don't know. I've never used it. I guess I'm out there. That's where all the young people are going to Snapchat. But I guess there's a way for you to earn big bucks on Snapchat. Is the new YouTube, or is it the new Vine? Anybody remember Vine? Vine is still out there. I mean, well. Any case, Harvey. Speaking of Vine and Snapchat and acting and getting, it's amazing how many people in Hollywood have claimed that they didn't know that this was going on. And you have everybody else running around Hollywood saying that everybody knew what Harvey Weinstein was like. By the way, speaking of, earlier in the day when I mentioned that the Brits in general were not a handsome race of people, obviously that does not mean that they're all plain Janes and plain Joes or ugly. Obviously, there are some handsome ones. Samantha Fox, remember the 80s? She was a looker. She was a Brit. So there are some. And for the guys, there are, well, I mean, everybody used to think that Pierce Brosnan was a hottie, I guess, David Beckham. Although I don't really find, from one guy to another, I don't find David Beckham all that good looking. I don't know what it is about David Beckham that women go gaga over. I don't get it. I don't see it. And just because I'm a guy, I guess, but I just don't see it in him. Just saying. Even Gwyneth Paltrow back in the she's not a Brit though, is she? She just acts like a Brit sometimes. I don't know. Who am I thinking? Well, I mean, this is if you're a good-looking Brit, you're most likely. I mean, if you're an extremely good-looking Brit, you're most likely in an actor or an actress. I'm just saying, or a musician. You don't even have to have talent. you don't. But Harvey Weinstein is not a good-looking guy. I don't care who you are. I don't think there's anybody that thinks Harvey Weinstein is a good-looking guy. It's just my opinion, maybe. I guess I don't know what he looked like in his younger days. I haven't really pursued to see pictures of him, but just he's not a good-looking guy. But in any case, Harvey Weinstein solicited top Hollywood execs before he got fired, looking desperately for assistance, help, and support. He says, "I'm desperate for your help." Now, here's a guy that for decades and decades was doing what he was doing and got away with it. And you have all these Hollywood people who are now coming out saying, "Well, we didn't know." BS, you didn't know. It's kind of like what's his face over there in Switzerland? Roman Polanski. They know about Roman Polanski, and yet I don't see many people on the left in Hollywood who are demanding that Roman Polanski come back to the States and face the music. Roman Polanski is a coward. He's a coward not because he's standing up for the right to, because of bad laws, and that's why he's staying away. I mean, if there are bad laws, and all you're going to do is all that's going to happen is you're going to get railroaded, I can understand. But he's not trying to fight it. He's not speaking out against bad laws. They were good laws that he broke. He admits that he broke them. He just wants, I don't think I should have to pay for them because, I'm such a famous person. Well, that's what a lot of people, this is, folks, I've brought this stuff to you before. The good old Hollywood couch. We know that the Hollywood couch existed back in the day. It still exists. We have starlet after starlet, star after star, especially if they're male stars that were male children. This is parents. I mean, I got a story here. Parents, we'll get into this too. Parents could be arrested if their child is a bully. Well, how about parents being arrested for taking their kid to Hollywood, and that kid ended up being molested? How many times, star after star after star, with people like Harvey Weinstein? Now, I'm not saying that Harvey Weinstein was a pedophile. Evidently, he wasn't. I mean, I haven't heard of any. I could be wrong. I could have missed this. So far, I haven't heard of any starlet coming out saying that, he sexually harassed them when they were under the age of 18. I haven't heard that yet. But we know Roman Polanski did. He's been convicted, and there have been a number of at least 5 other women who've come forward saying that Harvey did things to them before they were 18. So we know this stuff, the casting couch, the pedophilia casting couch, the sexual harassment casting couch, it goes on still to this day in Hollywood, and yet you've got all these leftists out there talking about Donald Trump being a pig, being a sexist, being a misogynist. Well, what do you call Harvey Weinstein? Trump only talked about doing certain things, and he only talked about it once. Harvey Weinstein, like Bill Clinton, actually did what Donald Trump only talked about. I guess you can't talk. I guess Donald Trump's problem is that he talked about it instead of actually doing it. Now, if he actually did it, he'd probably be a hero. This stuff is just, I don't know how they sleep with themselves. This is like being a lawyer who only defends known absolute criminals. Just the worst of the worst, and the lawyer knows that they're guilty and still gets them out. I don't know. How does Hollywood go to bed at night? Where is their conscience?
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Now, evidently, this came as this backlash and this firestorm came as a shocker and a surprise to Harvey. Well, you know, considering other people who've gotten away in on the left with this stuff, he might rightfully so be surprised and shocked that there's such backlash on him, and it was such a shock to him that here's a report from the Hollywood Reporter that's saying that he sent out a letter. He said, "I'm desperate for your help." He asked others in this letter or email that Weinstein sent out to various high-level Hollywood executives at studios, networks, talent agencies, and other places, begging for their aid. He was asking others in the industry for a letter or letters that he could present to the TWC board, the Weinstein Company board, stating your opposition to the board for firing me. Now, evidently, the embattled exec appeared to know that his firing was imminent in the wake of the explosive allegations in the New York Times detailing his more than 3 decades of sexual harassment on his part. You know, to put it in perspective, that's more than 30 years. Well, that's about 30-some plus years. That's the leading edge of the millennial generation, by the way. Yeah, I mean, so that's how long this has been going on. And you have people like Dame Judi Dench and Meryl Streep who are saying, "Well, we didn't know. We didn't know." Well, maybe they did. I don't know what Judi Dench looked like in her younger days. I've never looked for pictures of her when she was younger. I don't know. I think she seems to be as a side note. She seems to be a very sweet lady that you'd want to have afternoon tea with, but you wouldn't want to piss her off. Just saying. But she seems to be very. I hear that she's very funny. She's very fun to be around, but she just seems like the type of person that you don't want to piss off. Meryl Streep, on the other hand, I know what Meryl Streep looked like. She was, my opinion, she was not a looker. So maybe Harvey Weinstein wouldn't have hit on Meryl Streep. Fine. But you can't tell me that everybody else in Hollywood knew and she didn't. But then, well, it just brings you to the point. There are some people that I would love to just be able to hang out with once. I'll go have a beer with just once. Judy, well, I mean, how old? She's like almost 80. She's 80 something, right? Judi Dench seems like she'd be fun to hang out with. Jeff Bridges seems like he'd be fun to hang out with. And even though I don't agree with his politics, Samuel L. Jackson seems like he'd be fun to hang out with once. He'd probably be wild to hang out with. He just seems like he'd get in a lot of trouble hanging out with Samuel L. Jackson. Just saying. I mean, not that you'd go rob banks or anything kind of trouble, but I just get the feeling that he's a prankster. He could be a prankster. Yeah, there's a few other people. I'm not into Hollywood fame or anything like that, but there are people that you look at and that might be interesting to hang out with, just once. If you ever get the chance. And there are people that I would not want to hang out with. If somebody said, "Hey, you want to go hang out?" I'd probably say no. Tom Cruise wouldn't hang out with that nut job. I'm sorry, guys. All you people who have a bromance with Tom Brady, I think Personally, I think Tom Brady is probably about as exciting as a doorknob. I'm just saying, he doesn't seem like he'd be a fun guy to hang out with. I don't think he would be. Just saying. Tom I'd hang out with Tom Brady in a heartbeat. I think you'd be bored if you hung out with with Brady.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together
and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226. Good old Harvey has lost his job. He is not, poor little Harvey. He doesn't get it, I guess. He missed how you handle this stuff and how you do it properly, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know, and since he doesn't know that, you can't keep doing what you were doing and then expect people to, I guess Harvey actually thought that he'd get away with it because he was one of the right kinds of people. Evidently, he was not right enough. He was not the right kind of person enough. But understand that Harvey, there are some major people that are staying silent about Harvey. Mr. Weinstein here. Harvey went through all of the, 30 plus years of doing this, and nobody said anything because everybody swept it under the rug, because, it was Harvey Weinstein. I don't even know how you get started doing something like that. Do you have such power? I don't know. It is beyond my brain, my mind just does not operate that way. I could never, ever. Now, I'm a conservative. Now, we're supposed to be, the big, brash, uncaring, mean kind of people, right? Conservatives? And yet, I can't even fathom doing what these people have done. People like Harvey Weinstein. I don't even know how you get started on it. I don't even, honestly, what do you do? What do you do? Somebody woman comes into your office, and the first thing you think of is like, yeah, I'm going to sexually harass her. How do you get away with it? It's not as if Harvey, I guess maybe Harvey Weinstein was a big executive at the time 30 years ago, but you got to start doing this stuff somewhere. And in this day and age, nobody catches you until 30 years later. Well, evidently, if you're flying in the right circles, if you're hanging out with the right crowd, you can obviously get away with just about anything, and people won't, even after you're caught, they'll either support you or won't say anything about you, negative about you. Case in point, guess who's eerily silent on the whole Weinstein issue? Two very, very famous people are very silent on the Weinstein issue. Yes, Barack Hussein Obama is very silent on this issue. And Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton was all over the place. I realize it was politics, but she was all over the place about a private conversation Donald Trump had, commonly known as locker room talk, a decade ago. Now, This was not conversations that Trump had every single day or every single week with people, and he didn't have it out in the open, and he didn't have it in front of other women. It was a conversation he was having, what he thought was in private, with another man. We have almost, unless you're a Mormon or you're some highfalutin Christian, even if you're a highfalutin Christian, you most likely had locker room talk if you participated in sports when you were a kid. We've all participated in locker room talk, including females. And as I have said on this show numerous times, I've overheard women talking, and it puts men to shame when it comes to this kind of sexual talk. We've all participated in locker room talk. That's all it is. Now you can say it's right or it's wrong or it's improper conversation. You're probably right. It's a little improper. Hey, but Jesus said it. He said if you thought it, you might as well have, well, I'm paraphrasing. He said if you thought it, you might as well have said it because that's what you were thinking in your heart anyway. But it's better off not being said, I guess. You just think it, right? So you and your buddy are in the locker room. I don't care if you're male or female. You and your buddy are in the locker room. You think you're having a private conversation. Well, maybe not. You're on a bus. You're on a coach. Those oversized Winnebagos with MCI or Prevost on the front. And you think you're having a private conversation. Just you and your friend here. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, a decade later, somebody drops a bomb that they recorded you doing. Well, even if it was an accidental recording, they still kept it. Accidental recording, and they drop the bomb on you years later, and everybody piles on you about how terrible this was, how misogynist this was. And this was enough for Donald Trump to get out of the race. He never even should have continued. He should have resigned himself from the race after this, from the presidential race. This should have been, he should be so ashamed of himself. Not that he did anything that he talked about, because nobody's come forward. I mean, nobody credible has come forward saying that accusing Donald Trump of doing what he talked about doing. But yet we've got 30 years of women talking about Harvey Weinstein, and it's just coming out now. And where's Clinton on it? Why isn't she responding? She isn't. She's silent. Now, you would think that the one president over the past few years that we've had would have said something about this. Now, I will give Barack Hussein Obama, I have not heard of any sexual impropriety as it pertains to Barack Obama, other than the fact that some people think he's gay. Well, okay, let's just say he is. Let's just say that Barack Obama is bisexual or gay, and let's just, for shits and giggles, let's just say that Michelle is actually Michael. Even though she's not, well, let's just go that route. So they got married. They adopted some kids. I don't know, maybe they're, biologically Barack's. They have to be because they look just like him, to tell you the truth. So biologically, they got some sort of... Why hasn't the surrogate come out anyway? But anyway... I know there are people out there that are saying that the birth parents have come forward. Like, yeah, no, but they still look like Barack. In any case, there has been no allegations of Barack Hussein Obama cheating on Michelle Obama at all. I haven't heard of any sexual impropriety surrounding Obama. So the one guy, believe it or not, because even George W. Bush has been accused of sexual, misconduct. Obviously, Bill Clinton. George H.W. Bush supposedly had even while he was in the White House, he was acting like he was John Kennedy, I guess. Some people said, and Grandma Barbara Bush was okay with it. And Ronald Reagan, obviously, how he and Nancy came to be. The last president that was probably, sexually didn't have any sexual impropriety was Jimmy Carter. Anybody? Well, I mean, frankly, who's going to sleep around with Jimmy? Well, that's what I thought of Bill Clinton too. But evidently, enough women thought Billy Boy was a handsome dude. I never saw it, but okay. Even I'm talking about going back in his younger days. Didn't see it, but okay. But then again, if you were Bill Clinton, you were married to Hillary Clinton, who was not a looker back then. Definitely not a looker. You might want to. But the one president we've had or in a generation over the past 40 years or so that hasn't had any sexual allegations against him, other than, he's not straight, would be Barack Obama. He'd be the one guy you would think would come forward and talk about this and say, well, this is not cool. But he hasn't. Silent. Hillary Clinton, who was so vocal about Donald Trump's locker room talk, silent. Nothing. And you have all these Hollywood starlets coming out. Well, we didn't know. Really? Okay, maybe some of you didn't know. We'll give you some of you the benefit of the doubt, especially if you're across the pond. Okay, we can give Dame Judi Dench the benefit of the doubt. She lives over there in England. It's possible. She didn't know. Meryl Streep, on the other hand? Are you kidding? Everybody, every starlet and wannabe starlet in Hollywood talked to Meryl Streep because they wanted to be just like her. They didn't tell her? Of course they did. Except Meryl Streep's not stupid. She doesn't want to end up like Whoopi Goldberg, looking like a hypocritical, two-faced little biddy. Remember when Whoopi Goldberg was all for Roman Polanski? And she supported Roman Polanski no matter... that happened so long ago, it's really irrelevant type of stuff. And everybody piled on Whoopi Goldberg on that. Meryl Streep is playing it smart. She's just going to say, I didn't know. Which I find it hard to believe. She's a quintessential Hollywood insider. Everybody on the inside in Hollywood knew. It was one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. Everybody on the inside knew what the hell was going on. And you don't think that the Clintons didn't know? Well, let's say they didn't know. Now they do know. Not saying a damn word about it. Interesting, yes? So, but now it has gotten so bad that now you've gotten liberal Democrats who are walking away from Harvey. They can't support him. Good, because it's about damn... Now, how about if they just jump on the bandwagon and get Roman Polanski to come back to the States? Obviously, Bill Clinton is not going to... He's not going to weigh in on this. Can you imagine? I got to tell you, what Harvey did, that was just wrong, man. I don't know what you're doing, Harvey. You can't, you know, well, hey, you got to do things like me. You just have to have get people around you that want to be with you and just, make sure that the pretty ones. And anybody who doesn't want to be with you, man, you just sort of, you get rid of them. They don't become your intern. Whether you're governor or president, when you're looking for interns, man, you got to look for interns that are pretty. Well, at least that you think are pretty or willing. They got to be at least willing, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't make a move on a bunch of women, Harvey, that aren't interested in you. This is how you get caught. I'm just... Representatives for the Clintons have not responded for comment on the Harvey Weinstein story. Obama's out of presidency office has declined to comment. Clinton did not mention Weinstein during an appearance yesterday at the University of California, Davis campus, as part of her book tour. You'd think she'd be all over this on our book tour, because this would probably help her sell books.
This is why, I got a section of my book about this, about why this is so awful.
No. She didn't come out and say that. She's hiding it. She's hiding it, folks. If she has disgust for it, she's got to put it aside, just like with her husband. She can't blast. This is why I don't know why people, well, they did start saying it. This is, remember well, I guess if Hillary Clinton comes out against Harvey Weinstein now, remember the look on Bill Clinton's face during one of the last debates between Hillary and Donald, when Donald brought up Bill's sexual indiscretions. Bill's that picture is classic now. Can you imagine? And she just looks like a fool. But can you imagine if she did respond to Harvey Weinstein in either direction, for or against Harvey? She'd look like a bigger fool than she already is. She's in a no-win situation, actually.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Going around that's saying that Bill and Hillary haven't been speaking to one another too much because Bill actually evidently, rumor has it that Bill actually tossed Hillary's book, What Happened, in the in the trash. I don't know if that's true, but From what I understand, there are a lot of people who have tossed that book in the trash, so he wouldn't be the only one. What happened was trash. I have not even read any excerpts of it. I'm speaking a little out of turn because I'm only in this particular instance. I'm only going by all the reviews, and I haven't read a positive review yet on Hillary's latest book, which is why she's jet setting all over the place trying to sell this thing. I guess it's just that unbelievable. Not even liberals out in Hollywood are buying it. Usually people would go buy this thing just because they're friends. You know, they'll just buy a bunch of them and hand them out as Christmas gifts or something. But nobody's even doing that. I guess that's how bad this thing is. In any and her personally appearing places to sign the books and is just not going over well either. She's not a likable person. Okay, yeah, Hillary Clinton is not a person I'd like to hang out with either for a day. And no, I would not have a beer with Barack Hussein Obama. People used to ask me all the time, well, would you have a beer with him? Hey, Rod, you want to come have a beer? No, I would turn it to presidential command. Come have a beer. I'd say no. I would not want to have a beer with Barack Obama. Never would. No way, no how. They'd have to drag me in handcuffs and sit me down at that damn picnic table and handcuff my hands or shackle my feet to the seat because I wouldn't stay. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, I'd probably hang out with Bill. Just saying. Any case, well, you'd never hang out with any Democrat. No, but I'd probably hang out with Bill. Bill would probably be a laugh riot to hang out with, especially in these younger days. He'd probably be, I'm sorry, ladies, but Bill would be a hoot. He would. I'll just tell you. Oh, we go have some drinks, man. We just have a good old time. Anyway, designer Mark. No, people are going to think he's a Bill lover. No, I'm not a Bill lover. I think Bill is a disgrace to the Oval Office. But that doesn't mean that the guy would not be a riot to hang out with for a day or a night and go have a beer with. I mean, just seriously, come on. Seriously. Al Gore would be a bore. Bill Clinton would be a hoot. Bill Clinton would also probably get you in trouble. Legal trouble. Just saying. Designer Marc Jacob hits back at dangerous politically correct complaints after he was slammed for using dreadlock white models on the catwalk. Yes, liberals have no sense of, well, they have no imagination anymore. Now, I heard about this. Of course, I don't follow the fashion industry, so I could have cared less. I couldn't have cared less. I tell you, it's couldn't. I could not care less. I mean, it means that there's no possible way for you to care less about this sort of thing. That's how you properly say it. But he made the remarks at an Oxford Union address to 400 students. Jacobs warned that the stay-in-your-lane culture was damaging to creativity. Of course, political correctness is damaging to creativity. Now, Marc Jacobs, who is Marc? He's a fashion designer. I don't know who the hell he is. I guess I don't travel in those circles, so I wouldn't know. Jacobs, he came under fire after he used a cast of predominantly white women wearing dreadlock wigs during a fashion show last year. So this happened last year. And I've seen, these big high fashion, anybody ever notice that a lot of these supposedly high fashion model females on the catwalk, they're not very particularly pretty either. But yeah, who am I? I'm not in that industry. But he's he's in a little bit of trouble, but he's fighting back, saying that this political correctness crap is terrible for creativity. And he's not wrong.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh no, not the garage.
Later that same day.
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday.
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old. Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off. And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
People mentioned that Hillary couldn't divorce Bill after all his sexual improprieties because that's not what political people do. And I have to point out, hey, didn't Al and Chipper Gore get divorced? Yeah, they were out of office when they did it. But sure, didn't they like go their separate ways? Yeah, I think they did. Now Al is all well, I don't know. Is Al all alone? Al Gore isn't dating anybody, is he? Not that I'm really interested in his dating life. How old is Al Gore? He's like 70 as well. He got fat. He got old. He not just old man fat. I mean, there's a difference. He just got fat. Yeah, well, that's just Al Gore. In any case, welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours in internet talk radio is right here on the Rod Eccles Show. Here it is on Tuesday, October number 10 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome to you, liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. We are glad that you are here. Glad that you are here. Yes, indeed. From California to New York City, or is it from New York City to California to the whatever. This land is made for you and me. I learned it in grade school. Now all of a sudden I can't remember. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. There we go. There it is. You actually got to sing it in order to remember it. One of those things. Tipper and Al got, that's one of the reasons Tipper and Al got divorced is because Al got fat. But I don't do well, let me ask I shouldn't just say it. You know, you can't say this anymore. Let me ask the women about how a guy looks. I guess you can't ask that anymore. In this day and age when everybody's so sexually fluid, I suppose, you can't limit your response or who you're asking the question. If you're talking about a guy, you can't go to, hey, so ladies, do you think this guy is handsome? And vice versa. If it's a girl, you can't go to guys and say, hey guys, do you think this girl is, hot or what? This is about as politically correct as I'm going to be. This is, so, okay, I'm not going to say ladies only, but anybody, human beings. In his younger days, did you think Al Gore was a hottie? If one of the reasons why Tipper divorced him is because he got fat, that means he wasn't hot anymore. So was he a good-looking guy back in the day? I'm just saying, I don't know. Chris in the chat room is saying, well, you have to be, what she's saying is basically you have to be politically correct about this because you don't know what gender people are calling themselves nowadays. And she's dead on. You can't even call a person straight anymore. They're not, they're cisgender. I've come to realize and understand that cisgender is straight. So why not just say straight? Why don't you say, I don't know. I don't run around in that world. I can't give you an answer to that kind of BS. Because I would, if I were to hang out with people in that area that were that inane, I would go crazy. It's just absolutely just plain idiocy that you can't even, if you're straight, you can't even say that you're straight. You got to come up with some other alternative name for it. And I guess that's cisgender. That's basically straight. Well, I identify with my birth sex. Well, that's straight, is it not? Well, I don't know. I have no, I can't. I can't deal with this kind of this stupidity. It's just, well, here's some more stupidity for you. Coming from the land of California. Yes, indeed, there is a new and I have it right here in my currently cigar nicotine-stained fingers. Unbelievable. New California law allows jail time for using wrong gender pronoun. The sponsor of the law denies that would happen. What? You're going to get, even if you're trying to make a law to make it illegal to use the wrong pronoun? So, in other words, I guess I would be in trouble for calling a cisgendered person straight. Even though that's what they are. Well, I don't know. They identify, they're born male, so they identify with male. But can you be a cisgender gay? I don't get it. I'm trying to understand this garbage. The whole point is nobody understands this garbage, not even the people on the left, but now they're making laws or trying to make laws for it. California health workers who willfully and repeatedly decline to use a senior transgender patient's preferred name or pronouns could face punishment ranging from a fine to jail time under a newly signed law. Does anybody think that this is going to keep healthcare workers in California the best of the best? I guess they would get fined and or arrested and jailed for calling Caitlyn Jenner Bruce. Well, I'm not going to call him Caitlyn. He's Bruce. This is ridiculous. But Moonbat Jerry Brown, the governor of California, signed the legislation last week that's now... So if you're a healthcare worker and you willfully and repeatedly decline to use a transgender patient's preferred name or pronouns, you're going to... You know what? I'd be on the first train to Clarksville, not the last train. Anybody remember that song from was it the Monkees? Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. Now, I'd be on the first train out after this. This is ridiculous. The sponsor, Democratic State Senator Scott Wiener, another Wiener, go figure. I wonder if he's got any explicit sex pictures out there, has argued adamantly that nobody is going to be criminally prosecuted for using the wrong pronoun. Really? Didn't they use the same language and tell us the same stuff about some of these other sex laws? When you get convicted of certain types of sexual crimes, you have to register. Oh, this isn't going to be, people aren't going to be, misused. This isn't going to be misused and innocent people or people who should not be on the registry are not going to end up on the registry. Really? We're now prosecuting 18-year-olds for having nude pictures of themselves when they were 17, calling them child pornographers. We're now jailing and forcing 18-year-olds to register as sex offenders because whether they're male or female, because they had sex. They're both in high school, but they had sex with their 16-year-old boyfriend or girlfriend. Oh, but we were told that's not what these laws were going to be used for, right? Remember those? That's what we were told. Now we're finding case after case after case, and now people are starting to finally ring the danger bell, a little too late, saying we need to change these laws. Why? Because 18-year-olds are being convicted of child pornography, of having a picture of themselves that they took themselves on their phone when they were 17. So don't tell me that that people who misuse the pronoun or not use the proper pronoun or the pronoun that the patient wants, people are not going to go to jail. It's already in the law. So if I were in California, I could be fined and jailed for calling Bruce Bruce instead of Caitlin. How dumb is that? And they're going to try to tell us, well, we're not going to use the law for this. They're already misappropriating or misusing other laws that they said that they would not. And people's lives are being devastated because of it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You're a senior in high school. You turn 18 years old. Next thing you know, you've got police pulling you out of class, putting you in handcuffs. Why? Because they're accusing you of child pornography. And you're that 18-year-old and you're wondering, I didn't take a picture of any kid naked. And they pull out your phone and say, is that you? Is this your phone? Yes. Yes, it's my phone. Is that a naked picture of you? Yes. How old were you here? I don't know. It was like 2 months ago, so I was probably 17. That's child pornography. And the kid said, that's me. So now you don't have any control over your own body. Do you realize that? And now you can be jailed for it. And you want to tell me that that it already evidently it allows for it in the law. If you keep doing it, you're going to be fined. What happens if you don't pay the fine? Were they going to throw your ass in jail? You can be jailed for calling Bruce Jenner Bruce instead of Caitlin. Basically. Don't tell me that they can't miss you. If you can be jailed for being an 18-year-old in possession of a picture of yourself when you're 17, fully nude, then you can be jailed for calling somebody, Bruce Jenner, Bruce instead of Caitlin. This is what this stuff is leading. This is all, it's got to be politically. By the way, how is it that an 18-year-old can be charged with child pornography and have to register as a sex offender, And Harvey Weinstein gets away with being sexually explicit and sexually rude and mean and illegal for 30 years. How is it that Roman Polanski can get away with raping at least, well, he admitted to doing it, one, but there are 5 women who have accused him of doing the same thing. So how can he get away with that? And the poor kid down the street who's been dating his girlfriend since they were both sophomores in high school, all of a sudden one of them turns 18 and now they're in trouble. Don't tell me that they won't misuse laws. This is how it always happens. Oh, we're told it's benign and it's going to make people safer and it's only going to go after the real criminals. And before you know it, people who are totally innocent are being pursued, not just accidentally caught up. They're being pursued. I mean, it is getting to the point in some places now where they're asking to routinely preview, or if you bring your phone to school. I had the story here where they were just, where is it? A paper pile. This actually brings me to another point. Story, some school district. What they want to do is if you bring your cell phone to school, the school wants to be able to look at your phone. Without a search warrant. They're saying, well, we're going to be able to look, if you bring it on school property, all of a sudden if you bring your private phone onto school property, it becomes a property of the school for the time period that you're at the school, so they get to look at it. That's not the way it works. But what are they looking for? Oh yeah, don't doubt me, they're going to be looking for some 17 or 18-year-old to have a picture of himself on that phone being totally nude. Why? So they can bust him for child pornography. I'm telling you, I got another story here about parents too. Parents, you're in trouble. Don't think your kids are only in trouble. You are too.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, Not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Folks, this is something that is just, we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg here. This is this is the beginning of liberal utopia. Now, frankly, if stuff like this starts taking hold, I'm moving to Canada. Because believe it or not, even though Canada has gone to the liberal side, they're more sane than we are right now. When it comes to the liberals in this country, Canada is more sane. They are. I'm not even sure it'd be safe to move to Alaska at this particular point. But here's the story. If you're a parent of a child and you live in this New York town, you better get the hell out of Dodge. Well, in this particular case, the hell out of North Tonawanda, which is a city, a suburban city just north of Buffalo, New York. This is out of the New York Daily News. Parents of children found bullying other minors could face jail time under a new law approved in this Western New York community. The law went into effect October 1st. In other words, parents could be fined $250 and sentenced to up to 15 days in jail if twice in a 90-day period your child under the age of 18 violates any city law, including bullying. Now, what do we know about bullying? Anything and everything is bullying nowadays. Your kid doesn't agree. You know, your 10-year-old doesn't fully understand why his 10-year-old friend is wearing a dress. And he constantly asks some questions. Well, you're a boy. Well, that's bullying now. And so now you are going to be held responsible for your 10-year-old on the school bus because some other classmate who's 10, parents let him wear a dress to school. Because now it's bullying. So now not only could you be fined $250, they could send your ass to jail for 2 weeks. Hello? So now on the West Coast, you can be sent to jail because you don't agree with and you don't call somebody by the right gender pronunciation, considering what? California has 68 of them now? How the hell are you supposed to know? And if you come back to the right coast, oh yeah, you can go to jail because your kid has been accused of or has been convicted, quote unquote, of a crime twice within a 90-day period, including bullying. How the hell do we get to this point, people? And it keeps going, and it keeps getting worse and worse. Yet every time I turn around, I hear people say, well, I didn't vote for this. The hell you didn't. You elected the assholes who put these kinds of laws in place. Wake up, America. You've now got a government. You've now got a bunch of leftist idiots. Well, a vast minority who want to put you in jail in some way or another. You want to talk about the industrial jail complex? Who's putting people in jail more often than anything? Well, I guess they got to make up for the fact that they want to make marijuana legal. So all these people won't be going to jail for smoking pot. So they're going to be going to jail for other things. Like calling somebody by the wrong gender pronoun, by your child being convicted of bullying some other child. by having your own damn picture of yourself nude when you were a child on your own phone. Hello? How do we get to this point? How do we get to this point? What's next? I don't know. I'd hate to get. You have an AI program. So on your phone now, you can go around and you can start taking pictures of people and seeing if they're gay or straight. What's next? If you get it wrong, you're going to go to jail? Don't doubt me that won't happen.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with a debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
One of my all-time favorite bumpers. Yes, called Mutations right there. In spite of the anti-bullying, because we've gone overboard with this anti-bullying stuff. I got more on that in just a second. Right now, we didn't get to during the last segment, but this segment we're going to, because it was a little bit longer today, because there's a lot of them today, for today's holidays. The holidays for October 10th. Today is National Headspace Day in Australia. That's what they're calling it. But it's not just Australia, because it's also called World Mental Health Day. That is what Headspace Day is all about. We're being mentally healthy. Well, I'm sorry, but we got a bunch of people in this country that call themselves liberals that are not mentally healthy. They need some help. They really they need some mental help. It's also Hug a Drummer Day. Now, this is a day to celebrate drummers, a group of percussionists or percussionists or anybody else who beats on an instrument that can be construed as a form of a drum. Yeah. So hug a percussionist, a drum. It's not, little drummer boy type of thing. What was that show with Mariah Carey's ex-husband there, Cannon? Oh, Drumline. That was actually a pretty good movie, by the way. Drumline. So yeah. By the way, is Nick Cannon a hottie? Well, because there were when he and Mariah were first getting divorced or separated or whatever, there were a bunch of women in Hollywood that were saying how hot Nick Cannon was and that Mariah was stupid for letting him go. I don't know. I guess he's a good-looking guy, but is he a hottie? I can't say. Girls, ladies, do you think that anybody? I guess I have, in order for me to stay safe and not run afoul of the new California law. No matter what your sexual or your sexual gender identity is, do you find Nick Cannon to be hot? There's no way I can do this. I can't do this. Well, anyway, it is also International Stage Management Day. Who knew stage managers needed a day? But it's international, not just national. International Stage Management Day for those people. So when you go to a concert, there's a stage manager. It is also Ada Lovelace Day. What is Ada, or who is Ada Lovelace? Ada Lovelace Day, ALD, ALD, is an international celebration day of the achievement of women in science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEM. We got to have an acronym for everything. It aims to increase the profile of women in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM, and in doing so, celebrate or create new role models who encourage more girls into STEM careers and support women already working in STEM. Who's the organization? The guy who invented dynamite, Peace Prize, Nobel. The Nobel Prize this year is chastising itself for not nominating more women in certain areas. So they're going to go out of their way starting next year to nominate more. What about just nominating people who actually deserve it? Now, one of the people from the Nobel had a very good point of why not a lot of females are nominated for any Nobel Prize, whether it be in math or science or what have you. And that is because those are professions that were traditionally dominated by men. And these awards are usually given to somebody over a lifetime. So they've been in this sort of profession over the last 30, 40, 50 years. Well, over the last 30, 40, 50 years, there weren't a whole hell of a lot of women in those types of professions. So there aren't going to be a whole lot of women that have a long history in order to celebrate. So what are they going to do? They're going to start celebrating achievements that aren't really proven out yet? It's just dumb. But okay, so going forward, they're going to start nominating women simply because they're women. Huh? Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep up with that kind of stuff. That's why I say I can't do it. It's also National Angel Food Cake Day today. It's National Handbag Day. How do you celebrate today? By going out and buying yourself a new handbag. I guess that means males too. You can go out and buy yourself a new handbag. Wear it proudly. Yeah. It's National Love Your Hair Day. Go to your stylist or your barber. Get a haircut. Get your hair did. National Cake Decorating Day is today. It is also National Metric Day. Yeah, you know that whole metric thing that we're supposed to... Well, it's metric because what is metric is in tens. Today's a 10th, which is also Power of 10 Day today because it's 10-10. There's probably going to be a Ben 10 marathon on a Cartoon Channel network too. Don't quote me. I don't know. I don't often watch Cartoon Network, but could be Ben 10 Day. But it's Power of 10 Day and National Metric Day. It's also National Shift 10 Day. Now on my computer, if you do a Shift 10, that's for the sound. Increasing sound. But National Shift 10 Day. So press that Shift 10. Today it's National Tuxedo Day. It's also Squid and Cuttlefish Day. Now that's just got to be gross. I don't eat anybody's squid, calamari. I don't know. What do you make out of cuttlefish? It's also World Homeless Day. And it's U.S. Naval Academy Day. Kind of strange that we have U.S. Naval Academy Day on World Homeless Day, considering that there are many vets in this country, veterans, military veterans who are homeless. It should we not have a National Homeless Vet Day? We probably should and actually do something about it. There is not a damn reason anywhere that anybody can give me why a single vet that does not want to be living on the street is living on the street. We shouldn't have homeless vets. Not a single one. Unless, of course, that's what they choose to do, then they're free to do that. Today is World Hospice Day. as well as World Porridge Day. Now, I wanted to know exactly what porridge was or is, because it turns up in fairy tales a lot, too, porridge, especially the Three Little Bears. So porridge is a dish made by boiling ground, crushed, or chopped starchy plants, typically grain, in water or milk. It is often cooked or served with flavorings such as sugar, honey, etc. to make it a sweet dish, or mixed with spices and vegetables to make it a savory dish. It's usually served hot in a bowl, kind of like oatmeal. But it can be made with any starchy grain other than oatmeal. So I guess if it's not oatmeal, it's porridge. Okay, so those are your your holidays for today, October number 10. Power of 10, 1010. There's a radio station, 1010 WINS, 1010 wins. I think it's out of New York City, right? It's also the day for 1010 wins, I guess. Speaking of, getting in trouble with naming the wrong gender and possibly being thrown into cream of wheat. I don't like cream of wheat. That stuff is gross. I guess that would be a porridge. Yeah. Would grits, which is basically corn hominy, would that be a porridge? I guess that could be construed as a porridge. I like grits, but not cream of wheat. I never liked cream of wheat. You can be arrested, obviously, and sent to, fined or sent to jail in California for using the wrong gender pronoun, what have you, on people. And you have Mark Jacobs, who is talking about all of this, lack of creativity when it comes to leftists. And you have the fact that George Michael felt that, that the gods were against him, gods, plural, were against him because he was gay. And you have all this gay information, and you have, the porn star, the gay porn star who takes gays to task and liberals to task for being in support of Islam. With all of that being said and being tossed about and bandied about out there, guess what comes up finally in the news? And it's a major headline. But I don't hear any American LGBT community people or leaders rising up and screaming about this. They're calling it the Rainbow Raids. Yes, Egypt launches its widest anti-gay crackdown yet. So Egypt, a Muslim Islamic country, is now going directly, much like some of the other countries in the Middle East, they're going directly, and not even if they're just they fly the rainbow flag. No. That's not that. That's how it started, but it quickly de-escalated. So people are now being jailed and beaten by inmates in jail, and could face a life sentence in an Egyptian prison if found guilty of promoting sexual deviancy and other charges tied to homosexuality. Sarah Hegazy, Hegazy, is learning this all too by firsthand, basically, all too well. After waving a rainbow flag at a music concert, she was arrested and thrown in jail. The 28-year-old denies waving the flag, but is one of 57 people so far arrested in Egypt's widest anti-gay crackdown yet, a swift zero-tolerance response to a rare show of public support for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people, rights in the conservative Muslim country, the LGBT. I'm telling you, one of the things that the L and G part, the B is a bisexual, they can hide, because they like members of the opposite sex. They go both ways. So they can hide. They're fine. But nobody likes them anyway. It used to be just lesbian, gay. Was the homosexual thing. Yeah, bisexual people actually had to kind of fight their way to get to be part of the LGB. And the L and G, especially the G of the LGBT, don't like the T. In fact, I over the weekend I just heard another gay man talking about being anti-transgender, and his reason for it, basically what I've said. He said the transgenders are going to throw us back as far as our rights are concerned. They're giving gays a bad name. I'm telling you, if you're a transgendered person, you are not well liked by the gays in your community, but yet you're tagging yourself with them in the LGBT. Well, they're not having any of this LGBT stuff in Egypt. Life sentence for waving a flag, a rainbow flag in Egypt. That's what you could be facing. And yet, that the gay porn star says that the LGBT community here is completely and totally silent on this stuff. Huh. Very interesting, huh?
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Anybody watch Dancing with the Stars last night? Yeah, it was Drew Scott, one of the Property Brothers, is on there. Frankie Muniz. Anybody remember from Malcolm in the Middle? And in a few movies, you know, was he Cody Banks? Well, he's like a teenage James Bond. It was actually a cute movie. I think there's like 3 of them. Maybe, I don't know. I only saw the first one, but I think there's 3 of them. I could be mistaken. Maybe there's more. I know there's at least 2. I think there's 3 Cody Banks movies. Anyway, the Malcolm in the Middle star, he played Malcolm, I do believe. I never really watched Malcolm in the Middle, but I do believe that he played Malcolm. And he can't remember now his Malcolm in the Middle days, and the actor reveals that he has no memory of his childhood after suffering a series of mini strokes and concussions. Now, he was on Dancing with the Stars last night. This is where I first, you wonder where some people go and they stop being actors or why they stop being actors. Evidently, Frankie Muniz became a rock band drummer as well as a NASCAR race car driver. But he has no memory of a lot of that stuff because he says that he has suffered 9 concussions and multiple mini strokes since leaving acting. I think, what is he getting? They allude to the fact that he's been in a few automobile crashes for racing, but they never really mention how he ended up with 9 concussions. Now, he's not playing football. He's way too small for that. I don't know how he's getting all the concussions. He doesn't really reveal, but it is sort of opened up that it has something to do with race car driving, I suppose. So if you're into NASCAR or any race car drive, they've already, didn't Dale Earnhardt, didn't he die due to massive head trauma because of an accident all those years ago? And they came up with a new helmet stuff and anti-whiplash helmet thing that you have to. I don't watch NASCAR, but I know that the equipment that these safety gear that these guys wear and women wear in the cars now is just amazingly ridiculous. I'm surprised that, kind of like seatbelts, you would think that some of this stuff would keep them trapped in the vehicle for longer than they should be. But in any case, Frankie Muniz was talking about it I caught the first 5 or 10 minutes of Dancing with the Stars, and where he was explaining what happened to him. Why people were wondering where he went, because he was doing movies after Malcolm in the Middle, and all of a sudden he was gone. Where'd he go? Well, he became a rock star drummer in a rock band. Then he decided to drive race cars, and then there was nothing. So I guess that's due to his 9 concussions and multiple mini strokes due to the concussions, which is why he can't remember. And he actually has to be shown videos, and his girlfriend actually has to write a daily, like 50 first dates. You actually have to write things down on a daily basis to try to remember. That is a real problem for some people. And finally today, Kathy Griffin comes back to life, sort of. She dons a Trump mask and takes a knee as she returns to the stage after war with the president, who she says is her personal Harvey Weinstein. Did Donald Trump ever physically or try to accost you, Kathy Griffin? I don't think so. Kathy Griffin was never a looker. So I don't think that Donald Trump ever would have gone after Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin never would have made it on, what is it, Miss Universe? Is that what Trump owned? I don't watch a lot of these types of programs because I don't watch a whole hell of a lot of TV. And when I do, usually it isn't the networks. It's usually Hulu or Netflix or DVD or HBO. Or even to some extent when I'm really bored and have nothing to do, I'll even flip over to YouTube on the TV. Last night I watched Godzilla, Final Wars. I love Godzilla, but that was hilariously funny last night. It was it was like a comedy. It wasn't meant to be well, maybe it was meant to be a comedy because it was definitely like a comedy. I'd never seen it before. It's a 2004 filming, Final Wars, Godzilla Final Wars. I finally saw it, like one of the few Godzilla movies I have never seen, and that was one of them. And it had somebody in it that I thought I recognized, and then I realized I did recognize him. Anybody remember the ninja movies of the 80s? Sho Kosugi. His son, Kane Kosugi, was in it. In any case, we're out of time for today. Too bad for Kathy Griffin. Hope she takes a permanent bow, and we never hear from her again, but that's highly unlikely. Evidently, she doesn't like Harvey Weinstein. We'll see. Have a great Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you here tomorrow. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.